Welcome back to the Stephen A. Smith Show. Before I get on out of here, I had to talk about a story that's very, very important. And albeit indirectly, it involves Caitlin Clark.
The basketball world's golden girl has stopped talking, but the din around her is overwhelming that we are no longer only discussing a roster snub. We are seeing the active demolition of the greatest marketing potential in sports history. And it may be permanent, according to the strongest voice in sports media. The WNBA elite is afraid to acknowledge a narrative that Stephen A. Smith has just strengthened. IT goes beyond just benching Caitlin Clark. She has essentially given up on a system that obviously did not want her in the first place. The media attempted to convince us for months that this had to do with basketball standards. They explained that it has to do with paying dues, seniority, and chemistry. However, you discover something even more repulsive when you remove the layers of neatly crafted news releases and PR statements. You discover a tale of animosity, gatekeeping, and a degree of small-minded envy that has made basketball a battlefield. If you appreciate this content, consider giving this video a like and subscribing to the channel. Believe it or not, more than 83% of viewers haven't subscribed yet. It's free and only takes a second, but it means the world to you. SSO. Did you subscribe already?
Great.
Thank you so much for your support. Now, back to the video. Stephen A. Smith was not only critical of the choice, he revealed the rod at its center. He claimed that Clark is well aware of the situation and that her targeting is due to her importance rather than her lack of quality. Even if Indiana Fever managed to make a comeback, Clark has reportedly locked that door, according to rumors that are now going viral. According to reports, she has given up looking for approval from a group of friends who have been attempting to physically and psychologically harm her for the last 6 months. Why would America's most beloved athlete leave the international arena? What was it that everyone else overlooked but Stephen A. Smith saw? And is this the time when women's basketball's elite finally slaughtered their own golden goose? The tale of Caitlin Clark's basketball departure is going to reveal a dark side of professional athletics that nobody wants you to see. So fasten your seatbelt. We must go back to the time the news broke in order to comprehend why Stephen A. Smith is going to burn in hell. A typical roster announcement was the plan. These lists often appear. The news cycle shifts in a day. After few fans lament a snub, this was not like the others. This was an earthquake of culture. Caitlin Clark, who was selling full venues that had been vacant for 10 years on her own, was left off the Indiana Fever. When the leaks began to surface, confusion was hardly the only response to IT was fury. The selecting committee's formal justification was, at best, tenuous. They discussed their experiences. They discussed how joining the core group requires a 3-year commitment, and on paper everything made sense, but it disregarded what was really going on in the real world. Michael Jordan is a rookie, therefore you do not leave him at home. Tiger Woods has not paid his dues, therefore you do not leave him in the clubhouse. You put the most talented people on the aircraft. This is the gloomy part of the narrative. However, insiders started disclosing that this was not a mistake. IT was a message. There were worries about how the veterans would respond to Clark's presence. According to those close to the selection process, they were concerned about the circus she would bring. In essence, they were concerned that the legends who believed this was their team would have their egos bruised by the arrival of a rookie superstar. This was not a basketball choice. IT included controlling emotions. They put the veterans' comfort ahead of the game's development, and Stephen A. Smith drew the line in the sand precisely there. However, his subsequent remarks went beyond just criticizing the committee. The accusation was sabotage. Stephen A. is renowned for his scathing opinions, but his response to Clark's rejection seemed different. It was intimate. He basically referred to the judgment as idiotic on national television. However, it went beyond simple name-calling. He dismantled the sports industry in a manner that exposed the committee's ineptitude. He made a straightforward case. Basketball is a worldwide spectacle. Every 4 years, casual fans tune in to watch sports they might otherwise ignore. For many years, women's basketball has struggled to attract fans. All of a sudden, a player is attracting millions of viewers when you leave a casual fan at home. She sets up DVRs for sporadic Tuesday night games in Indiana. According to Smith, this was a marketing catastrophe. He emphasized that winning titles is not the only goal of the Indiana Fever, and no matter who is on the roster. They are successful. The Indiana Fever could have sent a college squad and probably still won because of their enormous lead over the rest of the league. According to Smith, the objective ought to have been to develop the game and broaden the brand. Smith said that by excluding Clark, the sports gatekeepers demonstrated that their own hierarchy is more important to them than the league's overall prosperity. He implied that there is a degree of foolishness in charge that is almost hard to understand without taking malice into account. They turned down a chance, not merely missed one. Additionally, Smith claims that Clark will not forget this disrespect. He implied that Clark's camp is recording every single individual who remained quiet and that the bridge may already be on fire. We must discuss the J-word, jealousy, if we are to be truthful about why Caitlin Clark is not a member of the Indiana Fever. The WNBA fervently want to avoid this storyline, but it is the only one that makes sense. To go back in time to before Clark had a single professional minute, they were already firing the warning rounds. Legends of the game, ladies who stand atop the sports Mount Rushmore, made remarks that seemed oddly antagonistic. Point one of the best of all time, Diana Taurasi, famously declared, "Reality is coming for Clark." It sounded like a warning. It sounded menacing. Then there was another legend, Cheryl Swoops, who falsely questioned Clark's college statistics and said that her dominance stemmed exclusively from her 40 shots per game. Why were these legends under such pressure? Why were they attempting to downplay a 22-year-old's achievements before she had even taken the court? According to the theory, which Stephen A. Smith has hinted at, the old guard is upset about the attention Clark is receiving. They performed in gyms that were empty. They took commercial flights for little compensation and much less respect. They pursue jobs. Now, an Iowa kid who has not even played a game yet has fans standing in line, private planes waiting for her, and Nike sponsorships for millions of dollars. Although jealousy is a natural human emotion in professional sports, veterans often support the rookie who makes the most money. The other golfers did not despise Tiger Woods when he revolutionized the game. He doubled their reward money, for which they were grateful. However, the response has been the reverse in the WNBA. They seem to be trying to penalize her for being well-liked. Clark may be secretly happy that she did not make the Indiana Fever because of the poison in the locker room.